Hello everyone, welcome to Pauline's place. I'm in a very different place, in a friend's home in Kerry, and I'm about to make my favourite salad, which is pear and blue cheese. Well, one of my favourites. But I'm thinking about this pear, and I happen to be very close, geographically, to a wonderful pear tree. I want to take you there. I'm right in front of that very special pear tree. This tree is the oldest fruit tree in New Zealand, and it's a pear tree, and it was planted by Reverend Samuel Marsden in 1819. So this year it's 201 years old. You need to come here if you live in New Zealand, and you should plan to come even if you don't live in New Zealand. One day you can. This is Kerry, and I'm at the Mission House and the Stone Mission House store that all began in the 1800s. And Reverend Samuel Marsden was a significant person in setting that up. It's a journey of bringing the Christian gospel to Māori people in this area, but it's also a journey of uneasy relationships between Māori and Pākehā, which is really a part of the journey, which we all accept. But there's something about the legacy just peculiar to the European that I would like to talk about. So I'm here outside the blacksmith shop. This was once upon a time a water pump. There was a store that you can look at, and a beautiful little church that's just quite close to here that was built about the same period. A minister in those days had to do all of this. If they wanted to bring the gospel, they had to bring agriculture for the people that they brought with them. They had to bring education for the children that were here and the adults. And they had to bring a transferable form of the gospel. And as best as they tried, it was about teaching them all the English. So there were all ways in which this Christianity was packaged, and the minister led it. They were carpenters, blacksmiths, they were everything. And there are signs of it everywhere in this little community now, just near Kerry, where people come from all over New Zealand to just look at the history and to enjoy the spirit that's here. I'm sitting outside Kemp House. They do tours here. It's just a few meters from where I spoke to you earlier. It's the oldest building in New Zealand. I think that the legacy that the missionaries left was pretty good, really, in terms of the industry that they brought in agriculture, in building, in all kinds of networks for education that were not possible before then. But so many missionaries, so many things that happened, but it caused a lot of uneasiness. So what can we do? Well, we're in New Zealand now, where we are a rainbow of nations. And I think about what industry is needed by the good news of Jesus Christ. Well, it's compassion, it's mercy, it's giving ourselves totally to the future, being full of initiative in all kinds of new initiatives. There's just so much opportunity. That was what Samuel Marsden and his missionaries brought. They brought a lot of things about the good news that were rules and regulations, and we have to leave that behind. I think there's a very important role for the church, both in election times, but all the time, in being a champion for giving people freedom to serve and freedom to believe that they can make a contribution to society and not be judged or condemned. Well, wherever you are, there's history there around you, good and bad. I'm very grateful to have been able to show you a little bit of the history of New Zealand after the white settlers and the missionaries arrived. What I know is you have freedom, I do too. I hope you can live in such a way to allow others to have freedom and to show them mercy. God be with you wherever you are. And now I'm going to make that salad. See you tomorrow.